My wife almost got kidnapped yesterday, and the cops weren't gonna help me. Story time. She gets on the phone with the dispatcher, and the dispatcher is like, "We're following you. We see where you're going. Follow the GPS." That's what the dispatcher is saying to the cab driver. The cab driver bangs it on the dispatcher. My wife almost got kidnapped yesterday, and the cops weren't gonna help me. Story time. My wife is 8 months pregnant, about to pop any day now. She's on her way to her prenatal visit, and of course, I stay with the kids. So she's riding solo. The cab driver comes late. But from the moment my wife got in the car, her saying good morning to him, we already knew something was off because I stayed on the phone with her. So it's a regular ride until like 10 minutes into the ride. He's following the GPS, no issues. Then all of a sudden, he gets a WhatsApp. He gets a WhatsApp message, and he took the car off of AirPlay, Apple CarPlay. Y'all know what I mean. And then my wife was like, "Whoa, okay, let me pay more attention." The man was supposed to get on the BQE, and instead, he's not getting on the BQE. He's taking a bunch of side roads, and he's taking a bunch of side roads where a bunch of warehouses are. So my wife's like asking him, like, "Yo, why aren't you following the GPS?" He goes, "I follow GPS. I follow GPS." She's like, "No, you're not. Go the way that GPS is telling you to go." In the midst of all this, he is short stopping. My wife is big belly pregnant and just driving recklessly. And what's crazy is the cops stopped him because of how he was driving. He would get into the right lane when he got to turn left. He would get into the left lane when he got to turn right. So if you drive in New York City, I'm not just letting you over, but you can't be driving like that with a pregnant lady in your back seat. Between my wife yelling at him, telling him to go the right way, and him refusing, and the car moving all types of ways, I'm like, oh my God, like this is a lot. Like, yo, I'm gonna call the cops. I'm like, yo, babe, you need to get out that car. Good thing we sharing location. Look, I'm gonna call the cops, and they gonna meet y'all. But she going back and forth with the dude. She don't even hear me. So finally she said, "I'm gonna call the base. I'm gonna call the dispatcher." She calls the dispatcher. And when she calls the dispatcher, I'm on the phone with the cops. It was happening so fast she had to hang up, and then she texted me. Her on the phone with the dispatcher, me on the phone with the cops, happening at the same time. She gets on the phone with the dispatcher, and the dispatcher is like, "We're following you. We see where you're going. Follow the GPS." That's what the dispatcher is saying to the cab driver. The cab driver bangs it on the dispatcher. So now the dispatcher is calling the cab driver one more time. He sends her the voicemail. Then the dispatcher calls my wife. Dispatcher calls my wife and says, "Put it on speaker." I don't know the cab driver's name. She says, "We see you. We see that you're not going the way of the GPS, and you need to go the way of the GPS because today you're going to get fired." The cab driver goes, "Oh no. Oh no. I've lost another job. I've lost another job. I lost another job. It's because of you." So now my wife's like, "Because of me? You the one not following the GPS." So then he starts frantic and starts blaming my wife for everything. He's like, "She don't help me. She don't help me." And she's like, "It's not my job to help you." The dispatcher, right after my wife goes, "It's not her job to help you. You are the cab driver." So now my wife starts threatening him a little more. She's like, "Listen, I'm going to get your license revoked and you getting fired today." Then the cab driver goes, "Oh, my sister. Oh, my sister." My wife goes, "I'm not your sister." I'm talking like this because my wife is taking a nap right now. So I don't want to wake her up, but I'll be much louder. So now, as my wife says, "I'm not your fucking sister," the dispatcher is cracking up. While that's happening in the car, I'm on the phone with 911. So I call 911. I'm like, "911. My wife is 8 months pregnant. She's in the back of a cab right now. She's heading down the BQE, and the driver is not following the GPS. He's been stopping short, and he's been making reckless turns, and he isn't following the GPS at all. Please, I need some help. She's on this street, she's on that street. So I start naming the streets as she goes. So the dispatcher goes, "Is the car moving?" I said, "Yes, the car is moving. I need help for her because this driver is not stopping and he's not taking her to the proper destination. So I need you to send some units out near the area that I'm naming so to give her some help." This dude says, "Oh, the cops aren't going to chase the car. When the car stops, just let us know what the address is and then I'll send some units out." He said it just like that. Meanwhile, I'm over here panicking. My four kids is playing like nothing's wrong. And I'm low key having an existential, y'all know what I mean, a crisis. I said, "Sir, if I could go out there myself, I would, but I can't right now. You can't send one unit out to at least follow this car so something bad doesn't happen to my wife in case it stops." He said, "No, sir, we can't do nothing." So I get quiet because I am livid now. And before I cuss this 911 operator out, I just bang it on him. And right before I banged it on him, he goes, "So, are you gonna call us back?" I didn't even answer. I didn't even answer, dude. And dude's probably gonna see this video. Yes, you were talking to me. There's so many car chases in New York, but fine. So I get back on the phone with my wife, tell her about the cops. She telling me about the dispatcher. Right in this man's face, this man's like, "Oh no, I have three kids. You don't care about my kids." My wife's like, "You don't care about your kids. You don't care about my kid right now." So now, while she's on the phone, now he's following the GPS because now his job is on the line and everything is on the line. So now he's following the GPS, and my wife is basically telling him where to go because now he's just scared. She starts to tell me, she was like, "Yo, do you believe this nigga told me he was ready to end it all? He was ready to end it all. End it all. He was ready to drive off the highway." And I was like, "Yo, what?" Finally, after an hour and 10 minutes, which should have taken which was a 30-minute ride, after an hour and 10 minutes, my wife finally gets to the destination. And we start talking about the whole thing. And I'm like, "Oh my God." And if you stayed this far, I appreciate you staying this far. When we finally talked about it, it was like, no, it was almost a kidnapping because it was only after the WhatsApp message and call that he decided to go these different ways. And my wife was just vocal. If you are in trouble, if you think you are in trouble, you scream your ass off. If you think you are in trouble, you yell. You get at the person, whatever cab driver, like, I don't care if it's an Uber, you go off on these people. And whatever he was into, he probably got scared because dude was not following the GPS. But yeah, that's the story. Tell me what y'all think.